This is not a quote, not a fictional story. This is real, a true story of a man who started from zero. No money, no help, and yet he rose. From nothing to everything. From zero to hero. This is his journey, and maybe, just maybe, it's a mirror for yours. His name is Marco. He was 24 when he dropped out of college. One senior project stood between him and a degree. Just one. But for someone battling ADHD and anxiety, that project wasn't just a task. It was a mountain, a storm, a wall that felt impossible to climb. Every day he stared at it, frozen, drowning under the weight of expectations he couldn't carry. He had the intelligence, but not the support he desperately needed. So he walked away. He remembers the shame, the silence, the whispers that he'd thrown his life away. But he wasn't done. Not yet. He took a different path, enrolling in law school in California, where you didn't even need a college degree to start. For a while, it felt like redemption. He thought he'd outrun the demons, but anxiety followed him like a shadow. He had to take a year off. He clawed his way back, pushed through the fear, and graduated. For 2 years he worked in law, wearing the suit, playing the part. He tried to pass the California bar twice. He failed both times. And somewhere in those failures, he realized the truth. He didn't want this life. He wasn't chasing a dream. He was running from himself. So he started over again. This time he went back to study exercise science, a passion he'd buried under fear and expectations. But there was a price. Nearly 7 years of credits didn't count because he lacked the science background. He was back at zero. Most people would have quit. They would have said it was too late, too hard, too much. But he was tired of living in the shadow of fear, tired of being told what he couldn't do. And that's when everything changed. He didn't just pass classes, he dominated them. He was invited to join the tennis team, and at 34 he became a college athlete. That should have been impossible. Then he transferred schools and picked up lacrosse, a sport he had never even watched before. By his second year, he wasn't just playing. He was a starter. Then came field hockey. At 35, he became a triple-sport college athlete. The dropout, the anxious kid, the man who thought he'd ruined his life. He had rewritten his story. At 36, he graduated. 8 months later, he was working in the professional sports. He'd gone from failure and fear to standing shoulder to shoulder with some of the world's best athletes. But success isn't a straight line. His team hit a brutal contract dispute, and he had to walk away. 6 months later, he landed at one of the most respected private training facilities in the world, doing work he'd once only dreamed about. And don't misunderstand this. None of it was easy. It wasn't a movie montage. It wasn't pretty. There were nights he thought he was too old to start over. Mornings he didn't want to get out of bed. Days when failure felt like chains he'd never escape. He's 38 now, and he's proud of that. Because he chose the harder path, and in that fight, he learned something no classroom, no law degree, no bar exam could ever teach him. Failure is not the end. It is a weapon. It forges you, breaks you, and rebuilds you into something stronger. He was the man who everyone thought had wasted his life. Now he's living a life he couldn't have imagined. And if you're sitting there thinking you're too late, too broken, too far gone, remember this: you're still breathing. And if you're breathing, your story is not over.